All right, welcome everybody to our weekly live cast, Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Every week, we're going to have different guests, and this week, we're going to be talking to Fabian Cruz from Simcoe. We're also going to be going over at future events, future live casts, we're going to be talking about technology highlights, both for practices in specific and healthcare in general. We'll be doing specialty highlights as well, with special guests talking about those specialties. And of course, we're taking questions throughout these live casts through Twitter. And you can tweet at us either at POI Health Tech, or for today at Simcoe, if you have questions for Fabian. And of course, if you're on this live cast, that means that you are joining us. So you will be getting regular notifications, so you know who's going to be guest speaking at our events at least a week ahead of time. And so let's get started here. Just a quick intro here for Fabian. Fabian's the program director over at Simcoe Technologies, which is a DME healthcare group. For those of you who don't know, DME is durable medical equipment. And so Fabian, welcome.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. So can you just real quick give us a quick rundown on what DME is, who needs it, why they need it, and why you got it, and why you do what you do?
Well, durable medical equipment is something that patients can use at home for a better quality of life. Obviously, physicians incorporate that into their practices because they can bill insurance for it and they can help their patients. You want to make sure, everybody's in practice, not only to help patients, but they're also in practice because they're in business. So they always need different things to help them make more money that, insurance isn't really paying for a lot of things these days. It's hard to get paid from insurance companies. So DME is a way to actually increase your revenue along with giving your patients better treatment care, better treatment outcomes. So it's something that people take advantage of, not only to help their patients, but to increase their revenue as well. So we definitely have a lot of options for physicians to incorporate DME into their practices. And we help in multiple different ways, Simcoe being one. And then we have two other companies as well called Discount DME and Bill DME, which offer other solutions too. So definitely offer a wide range of opportunities for physicians to get the help that they need and make them successful.
Very cool. Very cool. So as we go through here, we'll also be taking questions from others, but I'll kind of lead the way. So when it comes to durable medical equipment, you mentioned that there are three organizations: Simcoe, Discount DME, Bill DME. How do you keep them all separate? I mean, how do you help a practice owner figure out which of the different companies they should be working with?
Well, it depends on what type of volume they're going to be having, what type of focus they're going to have on DME. Obviously, when you're a physician, there's a lot of things you're focused on. You're kind of all over the place. Your office staff is doing a lot of the work for you when it comes to paperwork and going back and forth with insurance companies. So that helps you. But, it all depends on what you're focused on. Some chiropractors and other physical therapists and even MDs and DOs that are starting to jump into DME because they see the benefits to not only their patients, but to the practice as a whole. So when it comes to someone just getting involved, just getting started out with DME, it's usually best to use Simcoe Technologies. And to explain what Simcoe Technologies is, we're a provider for durable medical equipment where physicians do not have to pay for any of the equipment, nor do they have to pay to be a member. They start with us with a couple units at no cost. We typically provide portable TENS units, interferentials, microcurrents, EMS or NEMS, and orthopedic bracing such as lumbar supports, LO631s, LO627s, LO637s, if you know the coding, different types of braces, ankle braces, any type of bracing you really need, as well as circle traction and different things that we offer, along with the supplies to continuously use any type of TENS units that a patient gets. So if a doctor's just getting involved in DME, or if they've been trying to build it themselves with no success, I always recommend starting with Simcoe. Simcoe is the quickest way to get this incorporated into your office and quickest way to start increasing your revenue as well with the least amount of work.
Got it.
That'll allow them to get the equipment, and it's as easy as sending over the insurance information to us to verify, because we pre-verify it for you, make sure that their insurance will cover the unit that you deem a medical necessity for. If they are approved by Simcoe, then you're allowed to actually fit the patient with the unit, and all you have to do is send back the patient agreement to us along with the medical necessity form, and then that patient can leave your office with that unit, which is awesome and convenient for you and the patient. Once we get those forms, we send them the supplies based on the medical necessity that the doctor writes within about 3 days. They'll get that in the mail. Then we call and follow up with the patient. So what sets us apart from other companies that do DME is our patient care. Our doctors appreciate that, as well as our patients, and we have great feedback from that because we follow up throughout the year. So say if a doctor wants to prescribe a unit, TENS unit to a patient, and they put down the length of need for medical necessity for a year, then we'll send them a year's worth of supplies, which would be electrodes, batteries, lead wires, conductive garments if they need it, with conductive spray, the different things that they need to continuously use their unit. As we follow up throughout the year, we do a 30-day phone call, a 90-day phone call, 120-day phone call, just to make sure while they're using their unit, it's working as the doctor prescribed it, and they are getting the benefits from it. And if anything is wrong with it, then we take care of it on our end so the doctor doesn't have to worry about it. Once you're a member with us, we pretty much take care of all the hard work, making sure your patients are taken care of and you're taken care of. The good thing about it is that we're not just going in there and filling scripts for you. You're actually able to bill us for your services rendered. So as opposed to me going into the office and fitting the patient and showing the patient how to use it and scheduling a follow-up appointment with the patient to make sure it's still working, we allow the doctor to do that. So this allows the doctor to fit the patient, show them how to use it right in their office before they leave, schedule a follow-up appointment within 30 days to make sure it's still working for them. And then they're also allowed to bill us for the administrative, which is just making sure that the paperwork gets to us properly. So those three services, you're allowed to bill us up to $200. And then we also pay for services rendered within 2 weeks. So a lot of doctors are seeing that whenever they're trying to bill DME, they're having trouble collecting, or they don't know how to bill it, or they have deductibles they have to work with. There's a lot of things that come into play to actually make money when you're billing DME, and a lot of times wasted. When doctors think that they're going to make money, and then they don't even really look back at what they collect. But when they finally do, they realize, wow, I only collected $50. Thought I was going to collect 300, or I only collected $100. Or sometimes they break even; they don't make anything. And it's a lot of time that's wasted when we can actually take that from them, all the work that's spent, all the time that's spent on that, their office staff going back and forth. We can do it all for them, save them time, save them overhead, and they can still increase their revenue since they're not waiting for insurance to pay them. We're going to pay them directly for their services rendered. And regardless if the insurance company wants to say, hey, first they're approved and they come back and tell us, hey, no, we're not going to pay for this, then the doctor still gets paid for their services rendered no matter what. We just take it off. Yeah, and we go on to the next patient, continue the relationship with the physician.
Wow. Okay, so you're actually, it seems like it's almost like you're going out of your way to be on the side of the provider, and make sure that, as long as they're taking care of the patient, you guys are going to take care of them.
Exactly.
And that's unique. So many people are so, dollar foolish in this day and age. What is it about you guys that makes you so focused on the provider, so focused on their ability to treat the patient, as opposed to making sure that you guys are making a safe dollar?
Well, the way we look at it is this way. Some things we're going to make a couple $100 on. Some things we'll make $50 on. Remember, we have to pay our overhead and everything as well, and to do it. The ones that we're going to make more on, obviously, we love it. The ones we make less on, we'll work with. The ones that we lose on, we don't really care, because the reason why we're going to continue the relationship is because we know a doctor's going to send us more patients. We're going to be able to help more people. So there's going to be other opportunities for us to make a little more. So when it comes to either breaking even or losing a little bit on one or two, it doesn't make a difference, because in the long run, we're still going to have more business coming from that doctor. So we want to make sure that doctor's happy as well as that patient. The main thing is making sure the patients are happy, because if a patient isn't happy, a doctor isn't happy. And then there goes our relationship that we had before. We want to make sure that we maintain a good business relationship, not only with the doctor, but with the patient as well. So that's why we make sure that regardless if the insurance companies pay us or not, the doctor gets paid for the work that they do as a contractor of ours doing it for us.
Got it. Got it. So, and it brings me to an interesting question. I mean, in general with DME, whether we're talking about Simcoe, discount DME, bill DME, what do you guys see, or what do you see as the number one thing that people are wasting their time on when it comes to DME, and it's one of the biggest reasons why they should work with you guys? But I mean, in general, what is the thing that you see is the elephant in the room when it comes to wasting time on DME?
Well, when it comes to wasting time on DME, people aren't really billing it properly. Every insurance company is different. Some insurance companies want you to bill for a unit, then they want you to bill the supplies a month later, then they want you to bill supplies every other month. Some insurance companies allow you to bill the supplies all at once. Some insurance companies don't cover supplies. Some insurance companies don't cover the unit, but they'll cover supplies. So there's a lot of tricks to the trade, and that's what sets us apart, is because we have it down to a science. We know what each insurance company wants. We know how to get them approved. We know how to appeal them. We know how to push them through. We know what to do to actually get these claims paid for. The cool thing about us as well is a lot of doctors only bill for a unit. They don't know how to bill for supplies. They don't know what supplies to actually bill for, or how many they can bill for, or what to bill for and when to bill for. We know that, and that's why doctors use us, because they understand how hard it is to actually get paid on that stuff. And it's easier for them to get paid as a contractor just for the work that they do, not worrying about if the insurance is paying or not, because they don't have the headache of dealing with the insurance company directly. And a lot of the doctors that we have in our network, after they analyze how much time they've wasted, how much of the time their staff's wasted, and they look at what they've actually made, it doesn't make sense for them to actually focus on billing DME themselves, because it's not worth it. It really isn't worth it, because they end up spending money on overhead than they're making on the claim itself.
Right. I mean, okay. So basically they end up spending so much time applying a generalized approach that doesn't work. And so they have to constantly fight all those fires, that they end up making less money than the cost of doing it.
Exactly.
Got it. And is that true of Simcoe, bill DME, and discount DME, or do you see big time wasters in bill DME and discount DME that are different?
Well, in bill
where
DME,
those two would apply, I mean.
In bill DME, it's similar. Discount DME is our wholesale company. So this is what Simcoe is. Simcoe is the provider where doctors don't have to pay for anything, and they still get paid for services rendered. They get all the top quality equipment that their patients need at no cost to hold them in their office for convenience. So that's the easiest step and the quickest way to actually get durable medical equipment incorporated into the office. Bill DME will be a third-party DME only biller. So you're going to have your medical biller in the office already, but not all medical billers are focused on DME, so they don't do everything it takes to actually get these claims paid for. So that's when us as solely DME billers only, so that way we can maximize the revenue with DME if they already have their license in their state, or if they want to do Medicare or anything like that. See, Simcoe Technologies doesn't accept Medicare. So if you have a big provider that is using Medicare, then it'd be better for them to use bill DME if they have the volume. If they have the Medicare number, most people know how hard it is to get your Medicare number. Most people know how hard it is to actually get your state license for HME or DME. And if they already have that, then we can become their third-party biller. But it also depends on how much volume. Is it worth it for them to do that? Is it worth it for them to go out and get their license and take the year, 6 months to a year, to actually acquire the license that they need to actually bill DME in their state? We want to make sure that the volume is there for them, so they're not wasting time. And then if we're going to be the third-party biller, obviously we take a small percentage of what we're collecting for them, and if it's not worth it for them or us, then obviously we're not going to be able to do business, because we're in business to make money as well, even though we make it easy for them.
Got it.
And then discount DME is our wholesaler. So we have a wholesale company that offers all the cheapest prices for all the equipment that we offer through Simcoe, and all the portable TENS units and orthopedic braces and everything like that. It's all the cheapest prices across the web. So you can go to the website discountdme.com, and you can see what type of prices we have on there. That's where physicians can go and buy their equipment wholesale, save money, and pass the savings along to their patients if they want to bill it, or they want to sell it cash, or however they want to do it. that's solely just wholesale.
Cool. Okay. And that actually brings me, so I've been kind of taking notes, writing down the questions that are coming in. We had one question here actually related to that. Harper Osborne asks, how can Simcoe, or I guess he just means in general, one of the three, but help me with inventory?
Well, with inventory as in keeping what he needs stocked in the office or saving money or
I mean, it's non-specific, so I guess speak to as much of it that you feel applies. I think both are important. I mean, in terms of making sure that you've got what you need in the office, making sure that you're never, I guess, never in front of a patient saying, hey, you need this, but I don't have it.
Oh, good question. Well, the best thing about Simcoe is they get their equipment in the office. We supply them with the equipment that they need at no cost. So they're always going to have a couple TENS units or interferentials or whatever they choose to keep it on hand at all times. They're always if they're prescribing braces to patients, they're going to have a couple of braces on hand. So we make sure that they have the equipment that they need as inventory. They don't have to really focus on going out and buying it. We make sure that they constantly have what they need for a convenience purpose. So when the patient comes in, they can say, hey, look, we can see if this insurance, if your insurance can cover this unit. Let me go ahead and send it to Simcoe and see if it's covered. I'm like, okay, great. So they send it to us. We let you know if it's approved. And then once it's approved, that means that that patient comes back in, or they may still be in the office. You can say, hey, your insurance covers it. Would you like to receive this unit? And they say yes. And you can hand them the unit, show them how to use it, send back the patient agreement and the medical necessity. And then once that unit's left your office, then we send you more units. So if you need 2 or 3 more units, we keep you stocked up to make sure that you have what you need. And that's through Simcoe. That's the easiest way. Through Bill DME, if they are using us as a third-party biller and they're using their own license, then we offer discount DME to give you the savings you need, and we let you know what you should have on hand, how much inventory you should keep stocked up, and you can purchase that directly from Discount DME. And then, for any questions or any concerns that you have, we make sure that they're always answered, and we make sure that you have enough inventory on hand at all times. But that's more of a responsibility for the physician once they're using their own license and they're using us as a third-party biller. But we're definitely here to help you out.
Okay, got it. Okay, well, I hope that answers your question, Harper. And so I had a question. Obviously you guys are experts in this, and I was curious, how do you feel about the climate of DME in healthcare today? I mean, do you feel like it's something that's on the rise? Do you feel like it's in its peak, like everybody, is it saturated? Is it, starting to near its end? I mean, how do you feel people look at DME today? And what do you think the climate is like in the industry?
Well, I think that it's something that needs to be taken advantage of now. I mean, people have been doing DME for years. Obviously, it's a highly regulated industry, so it's always good to have a partner like Simcoe or Bill DME to make sure that you're always following all state and federal guidelines. We want to make sure that all the Medicare guidelines are followed as well. Most insurance companies are going off of Medicare guidelines, and we make sure that across the board, everything is compliant. That's our biggest thing, is compliant. Keeping your license safe, keeping our license safe. And without having a partner like us, I mean, we're focused on that on a daily basis. Being that we have 2 in-house attorneys that work directly in our office, they're always on top of the different law changes and different regulations, and then we keep our doctors updated as well. So it's one of those things that it's here. It's not going anywhere. Rules change, regulations change on a regular basis, so you want to stay on top of it. But it's definitely not something that's dwindling down. It's something that needs to be taken advantage now. And a lot of people are taking advantage of it now because they see the benefit to their patients in the office as a whole. And like I explained before, is a lot of physicians are having trouble collecting, from different insurance companies off of just office visits, just things that they're doing in the office, especially chiropractors. It's hard to get paid these days, or they're waiting longer than usual. So DME is one of those things that helps you actually get that revenue that you need, as well as the patient care. So it's definitely something that if you're thinking about doing it, do it now, because why not? You're just wasting time, because there's definitely opportunities for you.
Right. All right. And actually, to that question came in from Alexander Whitcomb, I think he asked a question last week. What is and kind of in line with what you're saying here about the climate where, I mean, there's really no excuse, right? I mean, if you have the opportunity to do DME, you should be doing DME. So Alexander asks, what is the revenue potential like with DME in general? Is it like average kind of collections rate? Is it a higher collection rate? What kind of added revenue could an average practice expect?
Well, it all depends on the practice and the volume that they have. If you're seeing 10 to 20 new patients a month, you can look at an extra $2,000 to $4,000, extra a month just on TENS units. If you add bracing to that, you get paid for $125, up to $125 for services rendered when you fit a brace. So that's an extra, 10 patients on that, that's an extra $1,250. So it all depends on the volume that you have. Doctors that are seeing 50 new patients a month definitely have a higher margin. It all depends on what you're doing. Now, if you're seeing a ton of patients, if you're going to be fitting 40 patients a month with DME, maybe you want to go ahead and get your own license and start billing it yourself and use Bill DME as a third-party biller, because we only keep 10% of what we collect, so you'll be able to make the most of it. But you got to make sure you have the volume to actually focus on that. Because if not, there's a lot of time that's wasted. So it all depends on the type of practice you have. It all depends on the amount of new patients you have monthly. It all depends on the amount of patients you currently have that can use DME. Obviously, if you have a lot of patients now that can use it that you haven't been offering DME, your first couple of months is going to be huge. But if you're not seeing a lot of new patients monthly, then it's going to dwindle down a little bit, but you're definitely going to have the option throughout every single month. Whenever you do have a new patient come in, you're going to have an option to actually not only help the patient, but increase your revenue little by little with every patient.
Got it. Okay, Alexander, there you go. Who was next? So, James Fowler. How can non-DC providers incorporate DME?
So non-DC providers, so it can be a physical therapist. For example, if it's a physical therapist, you would need a doctor to sign off. In most states, a chiropractor can sign off on durable medical equipment, such as TENS units and bracing, or an MD or DO. So if you have patients, a lot of physical therapists offices that we have work directly with doctors. So whenever they get a referral from a doctor, obviously the patient saw the doctor for whatever conditions that they're seeing. Physical therapist is treating the patient. They recommend a TENS unit. All they would do is send the verification over to us. We'll verify it for them, let them know it's approved. And then once they're approved, they would send the medical necessity form over to the doctor that referred. And then the doctor would sign off on that. They'll send it back, and then you can send it to us. And then you send that back with your invoice. You get paid for your services rendered. The doctor signed off, so it's approved, and the insurance will cover it. Now, a physical therapist can't sign the prescriptions, if that's the question. I'm assuming that's a physical therapist that asked that question.
Yeah, this is the first question, I think, from James Fowler, so I don't know. A lot of the people that we tend to see here are either practice owners who are chiropractors, physical therapists, medical doctors. And so I think sometimes it's a question of, well, I'm a medical doctor, but is this something that I can do pretty easily? And so I think that speaks more to the Simcoe option if there's, any lack of clarity, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Simcoe is definitely the route to go if you want to easily incorporate it and not deal with any headaches. I mean, Simcoe is definitely the way to go with that.
Bradley Deacon, I don't know how serious a question this is, but Bradley Deacon says, is Simcoe Dr. Nick's group?
Dr. Nick's group?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Yes. I guess
That must be somebody who knows him. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, I mean, Fabian, that's Dr. Nick. Dr. Nick that we're talking about is actually one of the founders of Simcoe. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Nick Exaris.
Nick Exaris, yeah. So I guess, Bradley, in another world, you've met Dr. Nick. It looks like Jen Highstock here has a question. Jen must be some kind of consultant, because the question here: how can I intro my clients to Simcoe? Can I just send them to one of the? Can I just send them to one of the brands to figure out which product or ... So I guess the question here is, I've got a group of practices that I consult with, and I want to know, should I send them to one of the products? Should I just kind of send them to a website where they'll figure it out? What's the best way to intro them to it?
Well, the best way to do it is speak with me directly after the phone call. I can get the information, phone numbers, and emails, and whatnot. We can communicate to see exactly what type of client base you have. If you want to discuss how each company can help each individual client, we can do that. We can pretty much figure out what the best option for your clients are. And then from there, what you would do is you would introduce them to the company, whatever we come up with, and then you would direct them directly to me. And then I would help your clients get set up and make sure that everything is taken care of from there on out. If we have the relationship built, if you're a consultant and you have, a base of clients, then we can definitely talk in further detail after the call.
Got it. Okay. It looks like the other question that I liked here was from eVisit. I don't even know who that is, but they follow us. But does Simcoe offer its own products? That's a good question. As opposed to like the standard TENS unit model or standard brace, is there something that you guys have developed or are developing that's kind of your own thing?
Yes, we do offer our own braces. We have some braces that we offer, like LO631s, LO627s, and LO637s for lumbar support. We do manufacture the Sense brace. We also have our own TENS unit that we're coming out with that's going to change the industry a little bit. We just got our prototype, I think yesterday or the day before. It's an amazing. It offers all 4 modalities. So you have TENS, interferential, micro, and EMS all in one unit. It's a top quality unit that we're looking to change the industry up a little bit with and set a standard in. So we should have that in the next couple months. We should get our first shipment of those units. We've been waiting on that for over a year. So it's exciting.
Wow.
But
very cool.
At the moment, we offer all top quality intensity line units. So the Intensity 10, Intensity IF combo, Intensity Micro combo, and the Intensity EMS. So we definitely offer all top quality equipment. And then once our new unit comes out that we're manufacturing ourselves, it's going to take it to another level.
Awesome. Well, eVisit, I hope that answers your question. Okay. Well, I think that's all the questions that we're going to go through. But Fabian, I think one important thing is where you're going to be for people that are looking to connect with you, who are already going to certain conferences. So whether it's you or somebody on your team, what kind of events are coming up for you guys? Where are you guys going to be? Where people can look for you?
Well, we're going to be right now this weekend. Actually, we're going to be at the Texas Chiropractic College Homecoming Convention, and that's the 16th through the 18th, which is tomorrow through the weekend. We're going to be that's in Galveston, Texas. We're also going to be at the Florida Chiropractic Physicians Association Convention on the 31st of July, followed into the 2nd of August. So that weekend we'll be in Orlando. We have a couple more that are in the works we're booking right now, but what we already have booked for August is the Florida Chiropractic Association's National Convention, which is the biggest one, I think, in the nation, one of the biggest. We'll be there. That's in Orlando, and that's August 27th through the 30th. We will be also at Colorado's Chiropractic Association's annual convention in Denver, Colorado, which is in September 11th through the 13th. I don't know if you're familiar with Life University. Their fall annual convention is going to be in September as well, which is September 30th, followed into October 4th. So that's a 5-day show, I believe, and we'll be there. We also have the Illinois Chiropractic Society in October 2nd to the 3rd. We have the New York Chiropractic Council in October as well, which is going to be the 16th to the 18th. And
so you guys are all over.
Yeah, we're all over the place. We're nationwide. Definitely nationwide. So
definitely nationwide. Okay, great. Well, that's definitely a start. If you're looking to hang out, Fabian, is there anywhere people can go where you guys maybe list out where you're going to be, or is that something that you guys would like to do for people that are kind of looking to connect with you guys when they're on location?
Yeah, we don't have a list online at the moment. If anybody needs some information about that, they can contact me directly.
Okay.
I can give them my cell phone and my email address.
Got
And
it.
I don't know if you want to. I don't know if you want to put it on the screen, or if you want me to tell them now, I can give it to them now so they can write it down and they can call me directly, or they can email me directly. I have no problem with that at all.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's definitely do that. And what I'll do is I'll send out a quick note with your phone and email for anybody that's looking for that. And then for us here at POI, I'm going to be in Atlanta this weekend at a conference at the Cherokee Convention Center where I'll be giving a talk on workflow and technology, on what we do. And of course, as always, recent, obviously, our new book, Treat or Be Treated. Check it out. Google it. It is up. The final proof came in. It's all approved. So just to wrap things up here, for DME, Fabian Cruz for Simcoe, I think the questions were fantastic. I hope that we were able to answer them as best we can. This will be the second event that we've done together, Fabian, right?
Yes, sir.
And so just like the last one, this will be available for you guys on our through our YouTube channel, through our Facebook page, through Twitter. So if you guys know someone who missed it and should see it, and wants to know what the climate's like for DME, some of the biggest time wasters, and how Simcoe Build DME discount DME can help you or your clients if you're a consultant or a coach, definitely check it out. And if you're one of our coaches, one of our POI coaches, and you want to be able to talk to your clients about this, again, same thing applies. Talk to Fabian. You guys will be getting the same note with his email and contacts. You'll be able to reach out to him and get some more information. So Fabian, thank you.
Thank you.
And look forward to next week's show. Take care, guys.
It was a pleasure. Have a good day.